Psalm 122 says, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go to the house of the Lord. Proverbs 13:12 says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but desire fulfilled is sweet to the soul. This is a video that I've been praying to be able to give for months. I'm happy to announce that ahead of schedule, we have decided that we will gather in the Orpheum, 1021 4th Avenue, for public gathered corporate worship of Jesus Christ beginning June 21st. And we will do that across two services, 9 o'clock and 10:30 a.m. As you have heard me say in past updates, we plan to make a decision on June 15th and perhaps begin to gather as early as July. But with West Virginia opening up to larger groups, not just across the state, not just for churches, and if you've been out over the last couple of weeks, it just seems to have escalated, and being able to see people's anxiety level go down and their comfort levels go up. And so that made it a little more feasible and reasonable for us to think about gathering in just two services and still taking wise CDC guidelines and precautions and making sure that people are safe and feel comfortable to gather, but being able to do that in a way in which larger groups could gather and not asking our volunteers and leaders to have to put in an unreasonable amount of work in order to get what would ultimately probably be a less than meaningful corporate worship experience. And so, like I said, beginning June 21st, Father's Day, 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. we'll be gathering. A few practical things that you guys are going to want to know, of course, and we'll probably in our next week's pastoral update communicate this again and maybe add some things perhaps that I'm missing now. In order for us to respect some of you who are higher risk or have a little more discomfort in being able to do this but still want to gather, we're going to ask that the 9 a.m. gathering be for at-risk folks or folks who want a little more stringent precautions put in place, mask wearing and whatnot. So you will come into a space that is being completely clean and nobody or very few people have been in when you come to worship, and the 11 a.m. is going to be following you, and have the understanding that they're coming into a space that's had hundreds of folks in it before that 11 a.m. gathering, and they're comfortable with that, and not necessarily going to be as many mask wearers, and it's going to be a little more loose as far as the environment, while still, again, adhering to some of those precautions that we want to love our neighbor and to care for you well. So if you're not a mask wearer and that's a little less important to you, and you're comfortable coming to into a space that's had handful or more people trafficking in it before you came, the 11 a.m.'s for you. If you're high risk, you're a mask wearer, and you want to see other people doing that more, the 9 a.m. is for you. I said 11. That's 9 and 10:30. I keep messing up my dates. Sorry about that. But you get the point. Having said that, however, we don't want to, as leaders, be the mask police and walking around with tape measures and making sure everybody's sitting exactly 6 feet apart, or asking people to move around and having to move chairs and spaces and anything like that. I think we all at this point know exactly what's expected, what people are comfortable with, what we're being asked to do and to be. And we want to trust you guys to own your social distancing, to own your precautions. Unless somebody's just doing something stupid, we're going to let you guys kind of do that and police yourselves. We don't want to be in a position where we're constantly, shaking people down to do any number of things that they're comfortable with or not comfortable with. And like I said, we're at least here to roll out. We're hoping that that's going to be enough. A few other things. We're not going to have any kids classes, so we're welcoming them into our gathering space. We will include in our liturgy, our order of worship, our order of service, understanding that your kids are there and addressing them and having some things in our gathering that will be for them specifically. Our kids leaders are already working on activity packets that your kids will receive when they come in through the front door, that will make that time in the big room helpful and meaningful for them, and also as easy as it can be for the parents, particularly those of you who have smaller children. And we'll do this on a 2-week rolling schedule. So for the first 2 weeks, the 21st and 28th, no kids, and then we'll just see how that goes, and depending on comfort levels and where things are, we will adjust that accordingly. There will be, God willing, cleaning stations in the lobby, hand sanitizing stations in the lobby and in the big room. We're working with Cintas to get those in here, and we're hopeful to be able to have those by the 21st. We will be doing communion, but we're going to be doing those communion packets that perhaps you've seen. You can Google it if you haven't, where it's all sort of self-contained, and we'll make sure that we get that to you in a safe way so that there's not any shared handling of those elements, which would obviously probably not be helpful at this stage. If you're not comfortable at this point because of your risk level or what your feelings are on that, we respect that. We're never going to ask you to do something that you're not comfortable doing. So we're going to continue to be putting our online resources out there for you to consume at home. And whether or not that's live or recorded, we're going to still work out. We've already ordering some equipment that will make that as high quality as possible. And so as that equipment comes in and we get trained and equipped to put that out there, we anticipate that level of excellence will go up for you as well. So I am so excited to see you guys. Looking forward to seeing how this goes, and there'll be more changes and adjustments and adapting that we'll need to do in the weeks ahead. So be patient with us. We'll be patient with you. Let's be patient with one another. If you have questions, concerns, anything you're not hearing us say in these videos, or as we think through this, we want to hear from you. We don't assume that we're catching everything, and so we would love to be as servant-hearted and as loving and as thorough and as faithful as we can be to make this a meaningful experience, a safe experience, so that we can gather together again, continuing on into the future. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you again.